Hi all, this is Simona Rich. I hope this will record well because I always have problems with technology. This is the video I wanted to make for a while, but it's very difficult to find the words for what I want to describe, and some people will not understand me correctly, so it's a tricky subject, but I will try my best. So what I want to speak about in this video is I don't even know how to call it. It's the whole perception of what's right and what's wrong and what's truth and what isn't. I totally agree with people who take the stance against governments, because I do the same, yet I understand that at the end of the day all is illusion anyway, and there will always be the other side of every subject. So, and if you search for whatever you want to be confirmed, you will actually find the confirmation, because that's the nature of this reality. So I'm talking mainly about this because of the coronavirus situation, because I see a lot of negativity coming from people who know what's going on, and they know the deceptions of this world. And I'm also very aware of the deceptions of this world, yet I'm not investing my energy in that, because I know that I'm actually feeding the situation. So that's the problem that I see with many people who are awakened, and they are so frustrated because there are so many people who are not aware, and they believe every word they hear on news, and so they simple-mindedly think that those who are against coronavirus situation are enemies. And it's of course frustrating to see people as such, and there are 90, maybe 98% of them, maybe more even. But I choose not to get involved in this. And some people ask me, how can I remain so calm in this situation? That's because I know it's illusion. This whole world is illusion. It seems so real to us because we are in these bodies, identified with these bodies, but actually it's not true. And we can actually see that on a daily basis. We can witness that it's not true on a daily basis, because what happens remains only our memory. And so we can grasp the illusory nature of this reality just by paying attention to that now is the moment, and when it's past, where is it? It's not there, because at the end of the day it's illusion anyway. So that's why I don't want to invest my energy into such things, and it's just not good, to invest so much energy into being negative, into being against something, into fighting. It's not the right thing to do, and you're wasting your energy. You can use that energy for so much, for much more useful things to do. So I choose not to do it. And if there is positivity, there will always be negativity, and it goes very deep, because that's the nature of this world, to expand. So whatever you focus on, you will find more things to focus on. Whatever you study, you will find more things to study, because that's the nature of this world. It's created in a way that you get lost in this illusion. So this is so important to always keep a perspective of that. Otherwise you're lost in Maya, in the illusion of this world. So that's why I stay aloof. I'm really not invested in that, and it's so easy to get drawn into such things, because obviously you know that governments are lying, and so many people so simple-mindedly accept everything. Yet if you keep in perspective the nature of this world, that everything is illusion, then it becomes easier to get detached. So I'm not following the news. I used to look at some Instagram posts of people fighting against the situation, but I no longer do. And I appreciate work of people such as what's the name, the conspiracy theorist, I forgot his name. Oh, Ike. I forgot his name. David Icke. Sorry, sometimes I forget these names. and I appreciate what he does, and I totally agree with what he does. But then I find that he is becoming very negative person because of what he's focusing on. So I see both sides fighting, but I just don't want to invest my energy there, because there are so many more things for me to do. So, and then you're polarizing yourself to negative or positive side, and you think yourself a winner because you may stand for truth, but then what's truth in the illusion, you know? So it's best not to take any side, because then you are falling into the duality of this world, but you stay aloof. You stay away from that. And some people think that since I'm no longer belonging to any religions, I am not a spiritual person, but I just understood how this world functions. So either you're overly materialistic or you're overly spiritual, yet you're falling into the two extremes of this reality, and then you get lost in that because it's duality. And if you stay away from that, then you are much more aware. You understand both sides, you understand what's going on. You are able to retain the whole view of the situation. So I don't know if I'm making sense. It's a very difficult topic to describe, but I'm just explaining where I stand and why I'm not involved, and why I feel I seem to people detached, because I'm really not involved in this situation. So and I also don't think that you can actually change it. The world is going the way that it is, and if you know astrology, you also know you kind of expect what will happen, and there's nothing really you can do. You can choose to respond to that situation, but you can't change it. If it's set already, there is nothing really you can do. And some people notice that actually the world is going the way that it's going, and because there are so many unaware people, the whole stream of energy is going to one direction, and there's nothing that you can do. And again, it's reflected in astrology. It's not that stars set things in stone, but they just show in symbols what's happening. So this is what's happening, and you can oppose it, but some things, in my opinion, some things cannot be changed. So you're just going to waste a lot of energy. So I think it's better to just remain detached, and then if you are detached, you will not make emotional decisions, but you will respond in the wisest way that you can. So that's what my stand is about the situation, and I don't know any other way to deal with it. I'm happy with the way that I'm dealing with it, because when you are detached, you feel the how the energy moves, and then you can quickly use the opportunities to improve your life, to better the situation. Like I used the opportunity to escape Nepal, because I wasn't pushing against the situation like many people. They lost so much money, you will not even believe how much money was lost, because people were rushing to get out of Nepal, and they were doing it in the time when the flight situation was so uncertain. So they would book the flight, then the flight would get cancelled, they would lose money, and we are talking about hundreds and maybe even thousands for some people. So they're just wasting money, and they're putting so much energy into that, and then they just lose money. So that's not the way to operate. It's better to remain detached and just observe the situation, and then you see the opportunity and you act without any emotion, and that's how you get the best results. So it's best to stay away from taking any side, because as I said, this is dual world. This is the world of duality. This is the world of illusion. So you're taking one side, and then you lose sight of the other side. So you lose the whole perspective of how things really run, how things really are, and then you end up making mistakes. So it's better to get detached and then just observe what's happening. And when you observe what's happening, then you can make conclusions naturally. That's how the mind works. You just see the patterns, and then naturally you will know when to act. You just stay patient, stay detached, and then you look for the situation, you observe the situation, and then you will find the windows to do what you want. But you're not acting against how things are going, but you're acting in response to your observations about how things are going. So and I know some people will not like what I say, because they will see that if we are not acting now, if we don't do anything now, things will go really wrong. But then, because I know astrology, I know that if the energy is in motion, it will manifest. And if the energy is very strong, you can oppose it, but it will manifest. So my way of dealing with it is just looking what's happening, and then looking for windows of opportunity. And of course, any person can act the way that they want, but I'm just explaining how I act in such situations, and so far everything was extremely successful. So the strategy obviously works for me, but I understand if people don't like it and they want to act in any other way, that's fine. So maybe I described everything about the situation. I know it's a subtle subject, but I just wanted to let my readers, my viewers know where I stand, because that's the reason I don't create videos against, governments, or, how things work. And also, just if you keep opposing and calling people who are not aware of the situation sheep, and I sometimes call them like that because obviously they are not aware and they should be, but if you keep opposing these matters, you're going to get shut down. Like, the whole social media is run by these by the elite. So what will happen is just you will lose your voice, and then you won't be able to make a change. And also, if you go against the trend, you're going to be crushed, if you know anything about trends. So although you're right, the whole population think you're wrong, so they are going to destroy you, because the majority is in charge. So there are wiser ways to deal with it, like blending in to show that you're one of them, and then subtly expanding their worldview. This is the a better way to act, because it's more effective. So although it's tempting to show that you're right and oppose it, unfortunately you will be interpreted as an enemy. Like it was told in the Matrix, people who are still asleep, they are with the system, they are the enemies. They are actually your enemies. So you are viewed by them as someone that's destroying their view of the world, and what people do naturally is they try to destroy you for that. That's how the mind, undeveloped mind, works. So the way around it is not to show that you're different, to be in harmony with those people, and then once you get in harmony with them, try to redirect them if you wish, if you think you're right, or just try to make them familiar with the way that you think, so that they may entertain an alternative opinion, alternative view of the world. So that's why I'm not angry about the situation, but I'm just aware of how things are, and then if there is an opportunity to do something about it, whether benefiting others or myself from the situation, I will act on that. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to explain about why I'm detached from the situation, and why I'm not, actively opposing it. So hopefully I made myself clear, and if you have any more questions so that I can clarify what I said, if it's unclear, then do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. Take care.